We understand that the VAT is a consumption tax. Now, with all these exemptions, so to basic things as it relates to also health as well as rent, talking about housing and all of that. So, what are those sectors that the VAT now apply to? Because we also understand that government needs revenue to run the system.
Yes. So now, example when I said public transport, share public transportation. So for those, for instance, that are able to buy vehicles now, I mean,
Personal
vehicles, of course, we are going to pay VAT. So those are things that the ordinary people that are not poor will buy. Those are the things.
That's where the VAT will be.
That is where the VAT will be.
Okay, let's talk about luxury. Let's talk about luxury items. The average person might not be able to afford a bottle of champagne. Nigerians love to go party, and once you don't have that bottle on the table, it's like you have not arrived. So are we going to have VAT on some of these? These are food items too, but they are termed as exotic a little bit. So are we going to have VATs on all these ones, and which other ones are we going to have VATs?
Yes, of course there will be VAT on this. There will be VAT on alcohol. There will be VAT on a few other things that are not what ordinary persons will consume, because I've mentioned what the VAT will be exempt from. Every other thing, of course, there will be VAT on them.
And there's also the concern of the VAT, which favors VAT sharing, which favors states like Lagos. Looking at the aspect of equitable distribution, can you break that down for us?
Okay. That is one of the one of the issues that have been in public boner,
yes.
And is one of the areas people did not actually read most part of the bill. They just pick a provision and they speak about that provision. And you know what?
The pick there was, yes, it will favor states like Lagos. That is the catch for people. So clarify that.
What the lawyers say is, when you read a law, there's what they call community reading of a law. That is, all of them are interconnected. So you can't just pick a provision and latch on it. You need to look at the bill as a whole. Okay. So they only look at the provision, which is section 77, without looking at another provision of the bill, which is section 22, subsection 12. So what we have presently is that when companies file their returns, they file returns at the head office. So when they present their, it's as if, because VAT is the consumption tax, but when they file returns presently, it's as if all those consumptions happen in Lagos. Let's just pick a company. I can apologize to MTN for picking them as example, but let's use MTN. So the consumption of MTN is not just in Lagos. We are using telephone here in Abuja. They are using telephone in Kano. They are using telephone in Imo. But when MTN file returns, they will most likely file returns based on the head office. So it's supported for Lagos. And that is what we presently have. So what we actually have presently is the one that is not equitable. And that is why when you see the share of revenue, you see huge revenue for Lagos, you see huge revenue for Rivers, another maybe FCT, and you have very small for other states, because when those returns are filed, those states are not recognized as a place of consumption. So what the new law, this bill we have with National Assembly has done is to now emphasize that when you are filing returns, you must file the returns based on locations. That's what section 2212 says. So if MTN is now filing returns, it's going to say, this is what is coming from Imo. This is what is coming from Abuja. This is what is coming from Lagos. This is what is coming from Kogi. So all those things will be stated. One question will be, so if they don't do it, they are going to do it because another provision is in the law on VAT fiscalization and e-invoicing. So it is not just going to be whether I like it or not. It's going to be driven by technology.
So what happens next when this is implemented? How will other states also benefit from this?
Yes. So now, when this is implemented, what is due to Kogi State is going to be rightly declared as the consumption in Kogi State. And now the section now says, from that consumption in Kogi State, you are going to take 60% of it. So that means what Lagos was taking before is now coming to you, and you are not just going to take 20% of its Kogi State. You are now going to take 60% of what is directly due to you. So 60% will be by derivation or the place of consumption, then 20% will be by equity and 20% by population. So as a state, if I'm not a governor, but if I'm a governor of a state, I'm going to be very happy that, oh, now when consumption happens in my jurisdiction, I'm going to have at least 60% of that consumption that is happening in my jurisdiction.
Okay,